Right, guys, welcome back to another stream from Above Average FPL. My name's Adam, and as always, I'm joined by Baker. How you doing this evening, mate?
Very well, mate. Very well. Very, very well. Another week. Not in the books, but
No, there's plenty of time in this game week to go. We've still got a lot of points still to be had. I've still got like 6 players to play. Well, 6 players, isn't it? Yeah,
six players, isn't it?
No, no more than that. Some people might
Yeah,
have some Southampton and some rogue Zahas in there, but yeah, 6 players to play. Yeah,
exactly.
going all right. I mean, it's not nothing about this weekend. There's nothing about this week has been exciting at all. And oddly, I feel like it should have been a better weekend because Tottenham obviously won.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Yeah. I mean, a season for me. I literally, I said it many times. I've had about 3 good game weeks all season. Just the 3 good game weeks, luckily, have been really, really good game weeks. The rest of it, I just feel like treading water, or at best, or a slow death. It's it's not really kicking in, but football's good. I still like the football. I think it's in a way, I think it's a really good season.
Yeah,
But I don't think nobody knows who's going to be the top 4. Nobody knows who's going down.
that
I
doesn't
feel like it's a good season, potentially.
that doesn't help
Nobody
us
knows
for
who wins the
FPL though,
league.
does it? Does that help us for FPL? Does it just mean there's more? Does that mean that there's more potential people to pick from in the last few weeks, which means people can diversify a little bit more?
I think so,
Because
but
I
I
feel
don't.
that's where I get the most enjoyment from it is from going a little bit different, which is why maybe this period of the season is kind of just grating on me because it's all samey
Mm,
type shit. It's like, oh, we wildcarded in 26. Oh, we wildcarded in 27. Oh, okay, good. Well done. We're all
yeah,
on the same. We're all on the same journey at the moment.
I do think that, but I do. For me, I guess it's how you play the game. But for me, FPL is a nice means to mean that I have to watch more football and get into more football, and so I'm like, if the football's going to be good, well, the FPL, regardless, I'm still interested in the football. Like,
Yeah,
so I do feel like a bit more than I feel a lot like that at the moment. Is that I'm just interested in seeing what happens in the football. Um,
fair enough.
which is good because we do an FPL podcast.
Yeah, it helps.
But that's the good thing about us being able to talk about 8, 9, 10 games on a Sunday night is that kind of doesn't matter whether we got them or not. There's still plenty of stuff to talk about.
Yeah. So, first question: did you watch Match of the Day?
Yeah,
You did. I didn't.
not in total. I flicked on to just see how ridiculous it was. I flicked on and it was the Tottenham game that was on, and I looked at it and I was like, "This is weird. This is really, really weird." And then in the morning, I was like, "Okay." I did manage to catch quite a lot of the games. Anyway, during the day yesterday, but I thought to myself, I'll just go back and have another look. And I know they made it only 20 minutes, but obviously there were also only 6 games on Saturdays, weren't there, as well?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it was a normal hour and a half program that they put into that. But yeah, it's the right thing. Pleased that those that did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not go into why that will happen.
Yes. Yeah.
This week, so I had 52 points. You've got 48 points so far, both on like the smallest red arrow you could ever imagine. I think I'm down like
100 club. Can we call it 100 club between us?
Yeah, so far. I think yeah. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why
Call
not?
it, we'll claim it. Podcast 100 Club.
Should have done it. Should have put a little thumbnail 100 club written on it just because we've got that between us. We've certainly got it when you had the benches in, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely. So for those listening, I've got Raya in goal, Estupinan, Trippier, me. I mean, our teams are the same, aren't they? Basically,
Same.
they're the same teams. So who's different? Mitoma
Who
Cat
is
versus
different?
Tony. That's it. It's literally it.
Oh, and you've got me and I've got Rico.
Yeah, but that's the same.
Yeah, well, apart from I got really unlucky with stupid clearance off the line for Rico.
Yeah, fair enough. But the difference in points is Tony versus Mitoma Cap. That's it.
Yeah.
Everything else is the same. I've got Pope, Botman, Madison, and Gabriel on my bench. You've got Kepa, Odegaard, Botman, and Zinchenko on your bench. So, we're about even on the bench as well.
Yeah, the big one.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, Gabriel was always going to be third on my bench. Just Arsenal, right? I wasn't going to play him. I might as well stick him last on the bench.
It makes sense to have the Arsenal defender third on your bench because Botman felt like the bigger clean sheet and Botman could have easily scored at the end. And then you had the mid, which whether it be Madison, whether it be Odegaard, whether it be Martinelli or Saka or whoever it was you did, it made sense.
Yep.
We think it made sense anyway. We convinced ourselves it made sense.
We still got games to go. You've obviously got Tony Cap, Matoma Cap. We'll go through the standard plugs and stuff like that, and then we've got the wheel. But we'll talk about a bit about chips and stuff because people talking about free hits and so blank game week coming up. We want to see people how they got on in game week 27 as well in terms of chips. So, in terms of, let's just get the plugs out of the way. Above Average FPL, supported by our friend Crypto Block Dan. Go follow him on Twitter. He's a good lad. He's an acquisition analyst for Play to Earn Crypto Company and a whole lot of other good stuff in the crypto space. Thanks for your support, mate. And give him a follow. Ask him any questions. If you want to come and join us on the Discord, patreon.com/above average FPL. We're chatting away as we go. We get stream questions, priority stream questions, as well as looking to do more content for the guys on Patreon as well. So if you're interested in that, patreon.com/above average FPL, or you can just hit the like button, subscribe, and do all the free stuff, and we'll love you just the same. So yeah, I think that's it. The only other thing I was going to mention, ignore that again. That's terrible editing from my side. One day I'll get this right. One day
I love that intro
right.
Though, mate. So you can just play it as many times as you like in my world.
There's one thing I was going to mention, is the Edinburgh FPL meets, which I'll be going down to. So that is in a few weeks on the 1st of April. It's the Double Gameweek 29 weekend. So my hotel's booked. I'm going down there, going to meet up with, so FPL Veteran is the one driving it. I'm going to be meeting up with FPL Nima, as well as General as well. So Mark McGettigan's going to be there. A few others. I'm trying to speak to Legamane, see if I can get him down there. And there might be a few others as well. So there's about 20 odd so far. I think it's going to be a pretty decent crowd, and it's going to be all day.
That's good.
It's at the Three Sisters in Edinburgh. Start at 12, and we just keep going, basically. And true Scottish fashion.
Wrong?
What could go wrong? Exactly. Exactly. But tables booked if you fancy coming down. Just drop myself, FPL Nima or FPL Veteran a message, and we'll sort you out.
And does that mean there's a chance that the Sunday pod doesn't happen
dead.
as well?
The Sunday pod's dead because the Sunday pod's done. No chance. There's no chance I'll be getting back. I'll be getting back up here to prep a pod for. And if I remember any of the games, it'll be a miracle. But
so we'll have to go Monday that week.
Monday that week. Hello to everyone in the YouTube chat this evening. So.
Plenty talking.
Loads of people, over 100 of you already. So there's lots of different questions in here. We can cover a few bits about that as we go through the games. I see some specific ones around offsides and obviously March and stuff like that. We can get to that.
God.
We can get to that. But so
chips.
Talk about chips. So again, for those that are not watching, for those listening, there was 10.4% of the top 10k use their wild card this week, and almost 2% use their bench boost. So those are the significant chips I think lots of people were talking about. And 35% have used 3 chips or more. They've only got 1 chip left or no chips at all. So quite a lot of people burning through those chips. And we'll see how they navigate doubles. There's at least 5 game weeks with action. 6 probably, isn't there? There's probably 6 game weeks out of the last 13, 12. 10, 9. How many is it? 11.
Still a fair amount of wildcards left. I just looked at the top million teams. The top million teams, there's 54% have still got wildcard.
Yeah, that feels like on the back foot a little bit with that, but.
Yeah, the frustrating bit is actually in the top million teams, 16% of them didn't use their first wild card. So that sounds like 16% of the top million is just, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Why are we bothering to put this in every week?
Yeah.
Teams out there. That's mad.
Moving on.
Moving on.
In terms of if you've had a good week, 10.4%. So basically what it's saying here is that bench boost has clearly been the winner, which makes more sense because you've got more players, basically. Those that wildcarded last week and those that wildcarded this week are essentially coming in at the same team.
That's a really, really unbelievably high average on bench boost. anything over 15 points on for an average. I think normal is about 15 points in a good double. So to be on 18 points with at least a keeper to play.
Yeah.
So let's just say that becomes a 20-point average on bench boost. That's one of the best bench boosts I've ever seen as an average. We got Mr. Flapjack in there. Can we claim, because he was on our wild card stream, that we've helped him have such a good week this week?
Yes.
Yes. So it's not down to Scoutcast on Monday night. It's just so we're now aware of that. It's down to him being on the stream with us on Friday.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Because we dragged him away from a whole night of drinking, work late drinking, and we dragged him in to have a chat.
He was going to the pub.
He was going to the pub. We brought him in. We said, Flapjack, come have a chat. And we had a chat, and he wanted to bench boost 27. And we clearly helped him come to that decision. You're welcome, Flapjack, by the way.
Welcome. It's a good week.
Yeah, it's a good week for those that did bench boost. So well done to all of you. But game week 28. So what's the big question that we need to be asking ahead of game week 28? It's like, what are we up against?
How many do you need?
How many do you need? And as it stands, there are, is it 9.54? I didn't have the total up here, but it's like 9.54 players.
Yeah, somewhere over 9 basically playing.
Yeah. Over 9. Of
but
which
in that there's multiple keepers. So if you look at some of the players that they've got, Ward is like 48% owned and Raya's 42% owned, and obviously you can't play them both.
Yes.
And Kepa is 47% owned. So like it's less than that actually. It's probably nearer mid-8s at best.
Yeah. And
so 10 probably without hits is in the game.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
it's very much in the game.
10's very much fine. And, as you can see, Arsenal at the moment is like 2.6 players. I mean, most people are going to be on at least 2 Arsenal. Those that aren't, I guess, are thinking maybe a double game week 29 with the doubles. Yeah. I'm certainly on that. And then
everybody who I've seen who hasn't got the free Arsenal is either gone big in defence on, say, double Brentford defence or double Brighton defence. I've seen a few of them, or they've got Maddison.
Yeah, basically.
It's one of the two on those ones. So that they've still got somebody else. It's not like, I've only got 2 of them, but I've got some. I'm a bit down on everybody else. They've still got the same numbers.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2 Brentford.
I've got 2 Brentford. I've got 3 Brentford. So yes, I mean that extra player. That extra player will be, I think people are going to have 9 or 10. I think is going to be the sweet spot. I don't think I'll be stretching to 11.
So it's already coming in on the chat, so we might as well tackle the question straight away that everyone needs to know, which is the player that's 100% owned, that doesn't play in 28 and only plays 1 game in 29 is, do you sell Haaland this week?
And me, yes. I think, yes. Yeah. I'm comfortable selling Haaland.
Is it who is it, do you think? Or is that still to work through?
I just think that's Watkins.
Yes.
It's really straightforward. I'm not trusting Brendan Rodgers with Iheanacho's minutes.
Nope.
Dak has just scored. So, it's not gonna be at the forefront of his mind. He obviously had a bad game last week.
Didn't play. And Barnes didn't play. We'll get to that when we speak a little about Leicester. But yeah. And then it's Havertz or Felix, isn't it?
Yeah. But then
we'll talk about those.
Chelsea's double's horrific, is it not?
It's not horrific. It's still 2 home games. It's still the thing on Chelsea is they've got 3 home games in a row, and that's what you're playing for. But I reckon a lot of people are going to go Haaland to Watkins. I think the obvious person that everybody else is looking at is probably Chilwell.
Yeah.
And then the person outside of that is probably Maddison, if you haven't got him. They're probably the biggest 3, I think, that we're going to see people move towards this week. Yeah.
Yep.
Get them. See how you go.
Yep.
But I think get yourself to at least 10. That's my feeling.
Yeah. Cool. We getting the games?
Let's do the games, mate. Let's do the games. Get the wheel out.
Get the wheel out. Let's go. Let's spin it. We've got some, well, not too clever names. We'll start
Oh,
with, is it Porro time? Couldn't think of anything else here, like 270 or something like that. Just something that wasn't Tottenham being crap was quite strange, to be quite honest.
so that's not Tottenham being crap. I think
It's still not the best. I mean, it's still not the best performance I think we've had. The first half is very. I mean, the chart here is very much a typical Tottenham Conte chart, very much so.
yeah.
Bar penalty. I mean, you take that penalty out and everything drops down, and it's basically a flat first half.
You add back in the offside, which is just so close and all that stuff. And
Yeah,
it's still,
true. Okay, fair enough.
There's bits on it. And I always think to myself is game state. Once it's 1-0, Tottenham don't need to. That Tottenham are never going to, once they've gone 1-0 up twice at that point, it did slow down. It did slow down that next bit. I think there was an injury. It just got a bit meh until the goal. And then it felt like it did feel very Conte, didn't it? It was like pick them off. So people might, if they're on free hit, there is Tottenham potential next week away to Southampton.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in Porro?
On a free hit?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's a perfectly reasonable option. Yeah, he looked very good yesterday. We get lazy, so if you're trying to bank a clean sheet,
yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
Worth noting
there are some better fixtures out there for defenders. I mean, if you think you got Newcastle and then you've got Chelsea and Arsenal, who you think with home fixtures would probably be better for a clean sheet, but it depends on how you want to line up that free hit. But
yeah, that's the problem in it. Like you could have two.
You say that, but Southampton are just rubbish, aren't they?
Yes. When you played a game like today, where they've played a game against 10 men, you're like, oh, you don't really know exactly what to take from it, do you? You really don't need to take.
Yeah.
But I think Porro is a fun pick. He just looks so much better quality getting into that final third. I was really impressed with him. Probably the bit that I liked, I very much like the fact that we had Davies at left wing back. Now, for both the wing backs, what I would say is Royal took a knock in the midweek game. Yeah. Perisic can only play so much, and he had like a game an extra day of training, and then you just felt it was always going to be Davies. But I think we're better with Davies. He plays that. He's so good positionally, Davies. You tell him what to do, and he just does it. He's like the best professional, as a person. Our pass map shape, that's the best pass map shape we've had all season. Davies full left wing back, Porro full right wing back, and then it means the two centre midfielders can play centre midfield. And it actually meant that Son played left wing because Perisic wasn't getting in his way.
Yeah.
And it meant that Richarlison played right wing, which was a really good move because Kulusevski's been so far off it. For Son, it's really good if Davies plays left wing back because he takes then all the, if Kulusevski's not on the pitch and Perisic is not on the pitch, well, Son's going to take all your set pieces.
Yeah,
got a lot. Get every cross. I think he made 5 chances, scores. If we were on free hit, I feel like there's not that many defensive spaces. Free hit, I would be on Son next week. Not a shadow of doubt. Nobody's got him.
That's true.
Absolutely nobody's got him.
I just think our shape, as you say, is so much better. I feel with Davis there as well because he's disciplined enough to almost make it a back four in game to allow Porro to be, and I think that's what makes Porro better as well because then you end up with sort of Kane and Richarlison in a 2, and then you end up with Son and Porro either side, just attacking those corner of those boxes, and whether they, Son's thing is going to be cutting inside, and I saw that a lot yesterday. He was cutting inside, looking for the shot, wasn't able to get it away, but when the one time he found himself in the box, he found himself with a bit of space and did well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Porro, he's just a cross monster, isn't he? Just cross.
Yeah. He could take, obviously he'll take direct free kicks and he takes corners on that side. Take some. Yeah.
He takes corners on that side as well.
He did. But I genuinely free hit, and genuinely, if someone really wanted a big punt for next week, depending on how their season's going, where they're at, it's not even the world's worst captain option is Heung-min Son next week.
Bold.
It's a bold move, mate, but I mean, you've done it before and it works out.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that this week.
It's a big deal. Is he an asset again? Mikhail's just asked in the chat, and no, I don't think so. Because I think there's they haven't got the double in 29. Do you want Kane and Son on your bench in 29? I'm not 100% sure on that. Yet. But if you were like placeholding for a Bruno and you really didn't want to take Haaland out, for example, and you thought maybe what else could I do this week? Going Son, then moving him on to Bruno next in 29. If you're moving him on to Maddison or whoever it is you're thinking about moving him on, very much not the worst thing. Like, for example, if you wanted to switch like March to McAllister, you could go March, Son.
Yeah, because you'll have that'd be on a hit though, wouldn't it? Because you'd be using Haaland money to get there.
Yeah.
Someone's asked about a rotation risk scaring anyone of Porro. I mean, we're really talking about a free hit. So in a free hit, if you don't have a player that could back up a rotation risk, I think you should. Yeah, you should always have a player back there anyway.
If not, just let it go.
It's fun.
Just let Porro go.
Forest. Should we just say anything on Forest? People have asked about Brennan Johnson.
Look, took a big knock, didn't he? At one point, I think I saw him. It is, but
it was because he slid into the boards, didn't he? That's why.
Yeah. So just nah. I'm still not going there.
Okay. Fair enough. Back to the wheel. I'd slice and play again. Let's spin it again. See where we go next. We are going to. Is he still a bad finisher? This is an interesting question.
We just spoke about Ollie Watkins. I feel like his importance has gone up in the team, and maybe that makes a difference. And I feel like it might have happened for longer than we've realised. I was checking Understat and just seeing his like over under performance on XG. Mm-hmm. No surprise, in the 3 seasons at Villa, he's under his XG. He's like 4.5 under his XG. But good, 34 goals from 38 XG. It's not the world's worst.
It's not terrible.
But it's 2.5 of that 4.5 is in that last season with Grealish. When we think of all the posts and all the stuff that he missed, and we all add in for the 190 odd points that he got. But last season he was only half an XG under, and this season he's only 1 and a bit under. And he's surprisingly up on his XA. But he's averaging 0.47 XG per 90. He's involved in the game all the time. One of the really good account is Mark R Stats. If anyone goes looks at that, and he's got like a bot that produces all stats and it produces pass maps for every game. It's a really, really good tool to look at where do people play when you're looking at it. And if you look at it, it's like everybody, then Watkins. He's so far ahead of everybody else in terms of everything is funneled his way. Feels like Emery's just saying, he's the man, feed him. But that header today was good.
Yeah, he should have scored again, mind you.
Yeah.
But it was a good header.
Well, he's still Watkins, so he will still do a little bit under. But yes, I mean, if he scores that second one, I mean, everybody's on him. But
I think regardless, anyway.
Yeah. I'm happy with it.
There's no issues with. I know West Ham haven't been great. I mean, they were half decent today. A lot of chances.
Yeah, really good.
I mean, there's obviously a penalty in there, but so it was a pretty even game overall.
Even without their picking up. Ben Marmon makes a
Mm.
difference. They get involved in a lot of it. That I said to you before we started, that penalty is the best penalty I've ever seen in my entire life. There was an old Julian. Do you remember, like, as an old school one? Do you remember the Julian Dix penalty, like years ago? One of the ones that hit it as hard.
99 mile an hour ones. Yeah, I remember that.
That couldn't have been far off. I'd love to get a mile per hour count on that because he just absolutely hammers it.
Yeah.
Marino, if we knew he was going to play every game, he's fun.
Mm. Yeah, that's the problem. Is you got Luca Dean just there as well.
He's fun. Fun.
But they're creating from both sides. I mean, like last week was Matty Cash, and then so they're definitely. I mean, their fixtures are good over the next few. I mean, if it's, I mean, again, talking free hits, you're gonna have 3 of them, aren't you?
Yeah,
basically. So pick your 3.
Yeah, I would go Marino. I would stick him in on a free hit. I think. Would you stick him in above Porro on a free hit?
Who else? I mean, you're going to have 5.
James Chilwell,
James Chilwell,
Cher, and Trippier.
No Arsenal.
Oh yeah, and Zinchenko and Gabriel. God, yeah, let's not buck around with Porro.
Yeah,
move on.
Still fun.
Still fun. Let's shift it.
Cool.
Next game.
Back we go. Oh, loving the Julian Dix chat from 2 Spurs fans, says Daniel in the chat. And he is inevitable.
Who's inevitable?
He is inevitable. Haaland is inevitable.
God, yeah, he got there in the end.
Yeah, it wasn't great from City. I watched bits of this game and it just felt really dull. I mean, obviously the Palace stat is insane. The fact that they haven't had a shot on target in 3 games. And I'm looking at guys with Zaha in their teams for this double game week, and I'm thinking, like we didn't really want Zaha in our teams when Palace were looking all right, let alone off the back of like 2 games with no shots on target. I mean, it's just, I don't know what's changed though.
He's still wiping Brighton's clean this week.
No.
You just know he's still wiping Brighton's clean.
No. They won't lay a glove on Brighton. They really won't. They're a bad team.
We'll see.
Doing bad stuff. They won't do it. No chance.
We're all talking about the fact that they've had no shots on target. They will be working on it. They genuinely will be working on what you do about it.
That's true. We're not saying they're never going to have a shot on target again.
Nah, Patrick Vieira is a good manager, but it is an issue, and they are sliding. They're sliding. They're in trouble, but they were up against a team that they're way too good for them. Haaland missed some sitters. That header, I said to our friend Danny, like, it was a proper 50 pence header for like we're going old school references tonight. Julian Dix with a 50 pence header. It's rubbish. But yeah, it's hard when you there's a load of wildcard 27 guys that might not feel like they've done that well this week, but they should have been absolutely murdered. The ones that went early and took Haaland out, that should have been a 15, 17, 18 points or whatever it is, for them. So I'd be very, very happy that it was a 6-pointer and move on from it. They're still really good.
There's going to be a time. It feels like there needs to be a time when we're going to have more than just Haaland.
How do you work it out though? Like De Bruyne doesn't play. The one I want to own before the end of the season, I'd like to just own Gundogan.
Yeah, I was saying that yesterday. I was thinking that yesterday when I was watching.
I'd just like to own him before, we had that last. Well, can we get some kind of last Aguero romance? I'd love to own Gundogan before the end of the season.
Yeah,
feels like a game week 38 punt.
Yeah, that's a Bobby Firmino. Surely, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's the game week 38 punt, isn't it?
Bobby
get that in early.
Yeah, but Gundo's actually scores points.
That's true. Oh, but so is Bobby. So is Bobby. Nothing else on this really. No game next week, and a single game in.
How fun is Ederson getting 3 cleans in a row after everyone took him out?
Perfect troll.
Incredible.
I mean, it's not. The stupid thing is, it's not like it's not like Man City have ever had a bad defense, is it?
No.
But then, yeah, he is the boring pick.
Yeah. Yeah, still
I
no
had it at the
bones.
start. But not
Still
now.
no bones.
No, still no bones.
No saves, no bones.
No, well, he doesn't do anything. That's why 0.017 xG. Oh, pantomime red card.
I don't know you, but do you not feel like I can't be asked to talk about a game once there's been a red card in it? Because like when you're analysing a one-off game, it's like, what the hell do you take from it other than because it's Casemiro? It really massively puts me off. Potentially puts me off Bruno, and potentially puts me off Shaw, and potentially just says, might not go there.
The problem is their fixtures are
Ridiculous.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's it, isn't it? So, well, you say ridiculous. It's just Brentford at home, really. Newcastle away's not a it's not a cakewalk up there.
No, and then Everton at home straight after. But the thing about them is, we'll know a lot more by 29 because they're now going to go into the FA Cup quarter-final without Casemiro.
Which is one of the games.
And Fulham hopefully won't be as bad as they were today because they'll have Pellegrini back.
Yeah.
So if Man United go out of that, they're definitely playing in 32 then. And then they're green light, basically. Whereas if they don't, and you brought in Bruno and Shaw, and you've also got free Brighton, then you're losing 6 players. You're almost locking yourself into that free hit 32. As opposed to if you avoid Man United, you probably don't have to then free hit 32, and then you can get really aggressive and look at a 34, 37, even last game of the season, free hit. You can at least have some fun at some point. So yeah. Saying that, we're not the double people. They'll tell us the permutations when we get there. But if Man United go out, I'm not sure how many doubles we end up with in 34, 37.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably not that many.
Probably
not. But other than that, in the game, Casemiro, why do people? It's like we haven't talked about the Ricky P foul yet on Felix because we haven't talked about the Chelsea game, but it's straight away, well, that didn't get a red, so this doesn't get a red. The man just went off his feet and just dived in like a maniac. and it's a red card. Like, it's a red card tackle.
The big one was because it was the same VAR. I think someone's saying it's the same VAR. But that's it.
So do you think that VAR is supposed to go? Do you know what?
I didn't give it yesterday.
Badly. Yeah, I did my job badly yesterday, so I should do it badly again today. That's the best thing that I should do. Like, if you're bad at your job on Monday, the best thing you could do is be bad on Tuesday.
Yeah.
He did the job right today and upgraded it. It was right in front of Taylor anyway. There was a penalty decision they didn't get, but they're going to use the old. He was using that hand to keep him off the ground, which is a stupid rule. But it's a stupid rule more than a stupid decision.
Players, if they're not sure now, can just put their arms down, support themselves, and be protected
doing a
by
press
the
up. It's basically doing a press up. like, how was that? Oh, I'm doing it whilst going for the ball.
Yeah.
He just threw himself in front of it, including using his hand.
And then you get the Adam Smith joke at down in Bournemouth,
exactly what I was
it's
thinking
ridiculous, where he's out of control. Like, his arms are out of control of his body, and that's not his fault. It's because that's what happens when you're in the air.
Yeah. So, how is that one? But it's the stupid rule more than the officiating, I'd say, in that one.
Anyway, so Southampton created a bit, but mainly because United were down to 10. So they have more space. They're still professional footballers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they created a bit. Should United have had a penalty? Probably.
Even though they had 10 men, you see Shaw's chance late on, like, he was proper high. I was like, ooh, need to just keep that in the back of my mind. Keep that back in my mind because he's still, you said it last week. He's just completely. He is Roberto Carlos. That's exactly where he is at the moment.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah, he's
very, very good.
He is very good. He's very good.
Spin it.
Spin the wheel.
You should do like the dance, like the game show.
No, I'm not doing.
It's
not
quite the same.
Not doing anything like that. Not doing anything like that. We can go to this game now because it's the easiest segue ever to go straight to that Adam Smith penalty decision.
Yeah, they're giving it, but it's like I hate it.
It almost felt like it was too close as well.
Yeah, definitely. But you expect him to give it.
Bournemouth hit him early and hit him hard. Took massive advantage of the fact that they knew they could counter him. Yeah. They're surprising a lot of teams on the counter, Bournemouth, actually. And they're needing to be, clinical when they do so. Billings popped up with a few this season.
Yeah. Utara is a proper baller.
Oh, mate,
he is
so good.
Proper baller. Like, people cannot live with him.
He had that chance. I don't think even the chance was it given offside because the chance. Yeah. The chance where he went round Allison.
Yeah, and went side netting.
Side net was he given offside?
I don't know if it was or not, but I don't think you get a lot of XG for it because it is side netted.
Wide. But what I was thinking was the second time it came round was when obviously there's no XG for the one that Van Dijk tackles him on because he never gets the shot away. But obviously he makes a different decision because he goes round Allison the first time, realizes don't have the space, and then he thinks no, I'm going to slow it down and then take my time and commit Allison. And by the time Van Dijk has already just come back, but
he's so much. He could get him out on his own because he can take anyone on. That's the other thing about the Marino thing I was saying earlier about him. Marino's a much more attacking defender than Dina. I wouldn't want Utara against him. I wouldn't back Villa for a clean sheet next week against Bournemouth. If it's Utara against him, he will go at him.
Yeah, true.
Especially if Kamara's still out. I don't know exactly what the injury status on that is, but they could make life difficult for Villa next week. Do exactly the same thing. Liverpool have a pretty similar formation to Villa.
Someone's saying here that VVD was absolutely woeful and he's laughing his head away, which is fine, but he still had two big chances.
Yeah. He
had 0.4 XG.
Woeful was a big defender.
As a big defender,
of course.
But at the right end of the pitch, chance after chance after chance, header, one cleared off the line, everything. He could have still come out of this game with 12 points.
That clearance off the line was fantastic. Yeah. Unreal. No, he was plenty good. The stupid thing for Liverpool, we've moaned all season about the midfield, and it's the same deal for this one in that he starts the game and he plays Basetic and Elliott.
Mm-hmm.
They're too wide. When you go against any lower team, as Tottenham fans, in a team that plays 3-4-3, so have a midfield too, we know that previously teams we struggled against are the teams that play free in midfield because they just overrun you. This is exactly what they did to them. They went they had Fabinho, centre midfield, whatever it is, and then you've got three centre midfield because Billing just sits on him.
Yeah. Billing's
a big guy, just sits on him, and then the rest of the midfield can just cook because Elliott and Bastić are not going to do enough.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a lot of sense from it. And what you used to get was Firmino, if you tried to do that type of thing, would have dropped deep and create that extra bit to at least take the defensive midfielder away.
They create a diamond in that midfield, which they don't have now.
It doesn't. If you again pass map look at it, it almost creates a V.
Yeah.
And actually then they've got that middle zone.
Mm.
It's full on like gladiator style. They've got that bit in the middle. You're having to go around me. You can't get in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, he got done tactically. Got it wrong, got the selection wrong, got the team wrong.
Yeah.
Got done.
They
missed a penalty.
Missed a penalty.
Yeah.
So
Billing, are we getting him in?
No.
We're still not getting him in. But Utara and Billing just have so much for me are much more fun assets than Dom Solanke. Like they're much more fun assets for it. You know, I know some people maybe look at Solanke for this one, but I always feel like there's not a lot of goals in the games. But I feel like watching them, Solanke does a lot of the good work off the ball. That means that the fun boy Otara can run, and Billing just has good awareness, really good timing of a run. For a big guy, like 6'4", 6'5",
He
wherever
cruises
he
in
is,
though.
just no one picks him
He
up.
slides. It's like he just slides in. It's like on an ice rink.
Yeah, I saw a Twitter account today called Philip De Bruyne, which brackets Philip Billing, and I thought to myself, if he was called Philip De Bruyne, we'd talk a lot more about him. But it's almost like because his name's Philip Billing, we
It's like
think he's like
boring.
some. Yeah, we think he's like some young lad from Cambridge somewhere. We'll dial like not the fact that he's not even English.
Yeah.
But it's just it doesn't seem that fancy. But he's a really good player.
Yeah. How do you go from smashing someone 7-0 to losing to bottom of the league?
Because tactically they were on it. Tactically, Eric Ten Hag was appalling against Liverpool, trying to go toe to toe with a team that are better than him. Effectively, is like they're not in that world to do that yet. Man United, yet they still tried to do it.
Yeah.
Bournemouth knew exactly what they were, sat in hard, can't do it.
Yeah. Agreed. Back we go.
So, lad, Jan in the chat said Billing looks like a 99 Pro Club player. Someone created. That's exactly how I used to make any player on Pro Clubs. You literally were like, how tall do you want him? As tall as I fucking can.
Ruthless.
Oh, is this them?
Yeah, it's them. This is the complete opposite of the article that you read during the week, wasn't it? Well, apart from the first 15 minutes.
It may be Scott, who does Canon Stats, fantastic. We did a good article about they're not, going at teams early on. They just dismantled them. Is it all? How much of this can we put on the fact that Polina has been out for the last 2 games? What was that?
That's literally what they did. They literally just turned up and went, "Let me in." It's not what the defence did. I'll leave it there. You can't talk about it while it's there, can you?
I can't, because that's exactly what they did. They just bent over and took it.
Literally.
Yeah, it's just basically when we can't beat you without Polina. We just give in.
Yeah.
I mean, especially that third goal, like trying to pass across your own. They try to do all the good things they normally do in terms of intricate passing. They lure teams in. This is too good a team to lure in. They just rip you. Trossard's playing really well, wasn't he?
Yes. I think it didn't help that they got no Willian as well. He's been a miss for Fulham on the attacking side and keeping the ball at that end of the pitch.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you're saying, you're right. If you make mistakes against a team like Arsenal, then you will get ripped to pieces.
Yeah.
I had some faint hope that Fulham would actually do something today, but was clearly incorrect.
Do you think today's game will put anyone off captaining Saka 28?
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. He's still on pens, so I don't know.
Like Odegaard is a lot less owned. I mean, it was obviously big benched, but he is a flat track bully. He does do amazing things. On a free hit, I'd want Trossard. I think I'd have Trossard on a free hit.
I mean, they just look like they move a lot. They move a lot better with that Nketiah in there, don't they? Just across the 3.
Move a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Saka was quiet today, but Martinelli, Trossard, both pretty greedy actually as well. They're
You think
I know he's had better output from a finishing perspective, Saka, this season. But I think of Saka and I think of someone who creates more, gets in behind and is the guy that crosses it across, and he makes nice little intricate passes on the back at the edge of the box and things like that. He does the good stuff. He does all that good stuff. I don't have him in my mind as like Saka. He's an elite finisher. He's a finisher. He's a goal scorer. Whereas like Trossard, even at like left wing back with Brighton, you just knew he scored the goals. He's just scored goals. You knew he was the goal threat for Brighton. Martinelli's a goal threat. He is. Yeah. Odegaard's probably the bit of the one that surprises you a little bit. But
I wonder. I do. We don't know. We don't know what happens with Jesus next week. Like, do they just start playing him more? Do they try and get him more minutes? What do they do? But like out of possession, Martinelli was a clear number 9. Clear number 9, led the line out of possession. He was the highest press all the time. Never came back. Trossard dropped into that sort of left wing back position that he knows out of position. When they got the ball, it did quite an interesting thing. A lot of the time, I know Trossard set up 2 from the left, but actually a lot of the time he came inside. I kept thinking it was Zinchenko. I thought, bloody hell, Zinchenko's moving a lot. Because he does drop inside, but actually Zinchenko, if anything, stayed wider than I've seen him play. Because Trossard came in almost number 10 for a significant part of the game. Odegaard normally is fully in that centre middle, but he was stayed a little bit further right. And because Trossard came off the wing and then Odegaard went further right, I did feel like it moved Saka even further right than he normally would be. Like there was nowhere for him to come in because Trossard had come off that wing.
Yeah.
And then Martinelli started 9 but pulled a little bit left. So it did feel like, to me, like Saka had been a little bit more cramped than I've seen him in previous games. We just don't know what happens with Jesus next game, and do we end up with Jesus coming in and Martinelli goes back left wing? Do we end up with Trossard stay left wing and Martinelli drops out, or do we end up with one of them clearing off after 60 minutes? But I did feel like as a game, Saka was the most isolated man on that pitch out the wide, and I felt a lot of it was because Trossard was coming off his wing all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
So doesn't massively enthrall me, but he's still on pens and he's playing Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
So he's still a great asset. Saka v Kane for you next week?
Kane.
Ooh, spicy. That was serious look as you said that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, scored 2 goals. He likes St Mary's as well.
He does like St Mary's.
And I was always going to pick Kane over Saka. I wouldn't have. Doesn't matter what you'd have asked him to do. He could have been making pancakes or something like that. I'd have picked Kane over Saka.
We don't hide our biases here.
No, absolutely not.
But Trossard's a genuine captain option. Again, free hit guys. Trossard, Son, they're fun options for cap next week, or certainly inclusion. Yeah.
Yep.
Move it.
We've got a few more. We're coming up to like 45 minutes now, so Dwight, baby.
Well, people need us because they did a match of the day commentary.
True.
So
that's true. We can go for a little bit longer.
Public service.
Can we claim that this was part of our? We said this would be a difficult game for Brentford on Friday when we played it.
This is the fun thing in it. Is the Brentford got more XG than Brighton, so comfortably, comfortably got 2 XG. Brentford did exactly what we would expect them to do, which is get big chances, because they always get big chances. Frustratingly for me, Rico Henry got a big chance. Ivan Toney, my captain, got a big chance. And David Raya got...
It wasn't a big chance. He didn't get a big chance. 0.11 XG, which actually, because he missed the target, took his baseline BPS down by 1 point and he dropped out of the bonus. I can't believe that's a thing. Like, how ridiculous is that? I understand how it happened, but it just makes zero sense to me why you would punish a keeper for that. So annoying.
We've been asking the chat, by the way, mate, to do a poll on Saka pancakes versus Kane pancakes. If you could,
do that. You
could oblige.
Can do that.
But yeah, Brentford. As soon as we said it when we potted on Friday, we said if one of these teams or these lower teams that are in this fight get in the game, they're going to make it difficult. You know, Palace did it for 70 minutes against City. Everton did it, got ahead, made it difficult for Brentford. Leeds fought unbelievably hard against Brighton. We are going to have to face into that for the next 8, 9, 10 weeks, that everybody from 12 down, you said it was 6 points was the difference between 12 and that. It's now 5.
Yeah.
It's now 5. It's even tighter. 12 to 20 if it's 5 points.
Yeah,
all of these teams are going to scrap
yeah,
so hard. I'm not sure we're going to see that many cleans, actually. I know, obviously, Everton got the clean here, but I wonder how many games we're going to end up with clean sheets as people just get more and more desperate as we go along through this. But Dwight McNeil, some people brought him in, didn't they, for the old double and then wild carded him out. Of course, he gets an assist and a goal since the last 2 games.
Yeah, it's easy hindsight to say that.
How desperate?
He's had like 2 returns in like 3 Premier League seasons, has he not?
Yeah.
So
how desperate are you to get rid of Brentford defenders?
Massively. I just hate having them. I just hate having them.
I can feel it. I can feel your hatred.
I just hate having them. It was never for me. I said it at the start of the month, before a wild carded, was like I felt least enthused about getting 3 Brentford than anything else on my wild card. Like everything else was fine, but the 3 Brentford just felt like misery. And it was just, you know, within 1 minute, clean sheet's gone. It's like, well, what the fuck? Why did I do it? Like, what's the point? And I know it's stupid because, like, we do this thing where we pick these teams that double that aren't top teams. Like, fine, Brentford put up 2 XG, great, but they're just leaky at the back when they're away from home. Like, we should know that sort of shit, right? Rico Henry's had like no returns. Like, Rico Henry never returns. Ben Mee's had 1 return all season. Like, Pinnock's had 1, maybe 2 returns all season. Like, why do we pick these idiots?
One of those you shouldn't have got.
Why do we pick these idiots when, like, I've got Gabriel sitting on my bench with 14 fucking points? Like, it just makes no sense. Like, we do it every single year as well. It's not like we learn from the season before.
We planned to put the top team in the league on our bench.
Like, yeah, exactly. We literally, like, how stupid does that sound? It's just beyond stupid.
I guarantee you there was part of you that felt like you were more comfortable putting Maddison on your bench. That's why you put him in a wild card, because you were like, I don't really want to put Maddison.
That's fine. At Chelsea, I can bench him against Chelsea, no problem. Yeah,
it's so ridiculous.
No issues whatsoever.
I'm not even gonna put that guy in my squad because he's too good. Too good a team. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't have that. Yeah, I didn't have that second midfielder, Arsenal midfielder, benching headache because I didn't have him in my squad at all. Just went, screw it. Yeah. But why did I do that? Because I've got Solly March. That's why. I don't have like this centre midfielder that's going to win the bloody league as captain of his side. I have Solly March in my team.
We do.
Fuck, like, it's stupid. It's so dumb. Like, and it is hindsighty in some ways. The problem is the hindsight happens, and then you never look back and call it foresight for the next time it actually happens. You then have to call it hindsight again when it happens to you again. It's stupid. We do it. We're stupid. It's dumb. I hate it.
We'll do it again. We will do it again.
Hate it. Just hate it.
Other than that,
like, what?
Yeah.
What do you want?
Brian and
I've got Tony. I'm happy.
Brian and Boomer got 20 baseline. A forward with 20 baseline.
What was he doing? I mean, I know obviously
he takes those set pieces, doesn't he? Gets the corners, does free kicks, does all the bits. Like, if he scored, if Tony was -6 on the baseline, because just missed a load of chances.
Yeah.
But so if Tony scored, he still wouldn't have caught up with Brighton.
With Bumo.
Yeah.
You said Brighton.
So if Tony scored, no, wouldn't have caught up with Brian.
Oh, Brian. Sorry, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. Still wouldn't have caught up with Bumo.
Yeah.
Even if he scored on the baseline.
3 key passes, 6 crosses, loads of ground jewels won. I don't know whether that contributes. That's CBI stuff, isn't it?
Mate, if Tony gets a big ban, he's actually just a plug and play, chuck him away.
Yeah, but then he's going to move into that. Yeah, but then he's going to move into Tony's position, or you're going to have Wissa in there maybe, and he's not going to get 20 baseline, is he? But
he might get those pens.
Yeah, but he never scored. Well, okay, fine. We don't know how good he is at pens because Tony just takes all the pens and he scores all the goals.
Nobody knows because he's so good.
Yeah.
Imagine if he's better.
No, you can't be better than Tony though.
I like the fact that you pictured just for a second then. How would he take it? I could see it in your mind. You were like, what's he going to do? Like a backward shuffle.
Yeah. Yeah. But then, how many has he scored in a row now, Tony? Like, not a number, but it's 100% for about 2.5 years, isn't it? You can't beat that.
Anyway, we'll deal with Boo.
Literally mathematically can't beat it, but there we go.
Sounds like we should do another bonus pod. It's been a while.
It has been a while. If you're listening after the event, if you want us to do a bonus pod, let us know in the comments.
Let us know.
And we'll do one for like the final 8 game weeks of the season or something like that. International break coming up.
I was checking for baseline bonus. I was checking for baseline bonus for Solly March to try and work out what he was to see what he would have got. And yes, Googled it yesterday, and we come up as like the first option. I was like, wow, that's mental.
Yeah, mad.
Moving on.
So yeah, we've got another game of Brentford. Can't wait to lose their clean sheet in midweek. 3 more to go.
Do you think there's a chance that you rage out me?
Me, yeah, quite possibly. Certainly. And it will probably be someone like Cash.
Yeah.
That's genuinely been on my mind.
I can see the rage coming.
It might actually, because Cash has been doing me well in So Rare, actually. I had him captain last week in So Rare and he smashed it for me. Brilliant.
Well, we are not. You haven't fixed this wheel, have you? Like in terms of segues.
No.
Just mention March's baseline. Yeah. On we go.
Marching on together.
I've only just got the wheel thing. I've only just got the marching on together. It's the Leeds thing.
Oh, it's Leeds and it's March. It's everything. It's all in one.
I've just got it. That's so much better than I just didn't give it the credit.
Oh, you get there eventually.
Oh. Opta didn't bother doing a map for us on this one, I see.
No. So I'm going to ask it in the chat. So I have no idea how this is going to go. So
whose goal was it? Is that what I'm going to ask?
That's exactly what I'm going to ask.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Really, when we actually nobody knows. All we know is if you don't own Solly March, it definitely was an own goal. And if you do, it definitely was a Solly March goal. But the actual answer is nobody has a clue what it was.
To be fair, that's fair. But what I would say is I think the way that Harrison answered the question in the interview felt very natural.
Yeah.
It felt really natural.
People on lie detector tests. I want Jeremy Carl on in the morning. Why did they do that? Why don't they set that crap up? He's doing nothing now. He's out of a job. We could just get him on. Sit him down. Get the pair. That's how it should be sorted out. This new panel should be a lie detector. You get them both in and you say, who touched the ball?
Yeah. Easy as that.
Easy as that.
But yeah, it was frustrating.
It's frustrating.
Could you argue Mitoma assist, or are we going way too deep down a rabbit hole with that one?
Nah,
You're not having that one.
Nah. I thought maybe it was at one point it was a Ferguson assist, wasn't it? But it wasn't. It was defender onto keeper back out and all that. So it was
too much happened.
Shit show of stuff.
The game,
but yeah. And the other thing on it, the one thing we do need to blame more is Solly March. Like, he needs to be more of a dickhead. Like, he should have just been like running off, full on, Harry Kane claiming, doing the full lot.
Yeah. Well, the
doing the
problem is
full
we
lot
didn't
because
really
then,
have any fucking interviews afterwards because match of the day was off, wasn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. I do think as well. Do you not think 3 o'clock games? There's more chance that this kind of crap happens. Like, because no one really cares. Genuinely, no one really cares about who gets it and stuff outside of us weird FPL players. Like, and it's a 3 o'clock game. It's not on the telly. Everyone's like, yeah, it's that one, is it? Yeah, it's fine. Oh, it's no goal. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna. Oh, I better look at that and do this stuff. I did see someone tweet as well, which I thought was interesting. Was said that probably if it's a bit dubious, they're more likely to decide on the own goal stuff because they don't want to offend bookies. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, anytime scorers and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
There could be stuff in it that says that. It's just a bit that they gave it to the Solly March one, which I get because you should give it to the person until you've seen whether it's on target or who county gives chance. But it just I didn't see a view that 100% says to me that says, well, we've got people talking about the trajectory and the speed that it came off the foot and all sorts of madness. The problem is there's that one shot and the keeper gets in the way. Maybe it's the keeper, maybe it's first. Somebody gets in the way and you just can't quite see the contact.
Yeah.
And that's the best angle. That's one we should have seen. We didn't see it. There's all these conspiracy theories. Oh, Premier League has more cameras and they see these things and they show that and you do that stuff. Fine. Like, whatever. Doesn't really matter because we ain't got the points.
Yeah. That's it. It's done.
It's done. Moving on.
But
Matoma's
let's call it what it was. Both ends bingo.
Both ends bingo. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. It's actually quite a good thing, isn't it? That we talked about on our Friday pod about Matoma's efficiency in the fact that he's not having huge volumes of shots, but we do back him because he's scoring 30% of the chances that he actually takes. Yet again, bugger all shots, but his baseline was massive.
Yeah.
And therefore, if he does score, he's almost guaranteed to get free bonus because he almost got free bonus.
8-point goals again.
It's an 8-point goal every time he scores.
Because we don't see like who do you think of with like 6-point assists, or who did you used to think of a 6-point assist?
KDB.
KDB. He's like the only player I can think of that you could almost guarantee a 6-point assist was KDB.
Yeah. But he's virtually getting that there because it's like he doesn't shoot unless he knows he's going to score.
He's going to score, exactly. Or he's got a really, really good chance of scoring. And even if you look at the time, even if you look at the goal, the McAllister goal, like he identified that, the
right thing is head it back across. It's
exactly. That was really annoying as someone who owned him and didn't own McAllister. And as I watched the goal going, I was just like, well, yeah, we spoke about McAllister basically being a number 9. And that's exactly where he turned up, right when he needed to.
And we need to, again, we need to cover, we said it last week, say it again. Sorry, Danny, our friend, you got the captain point, so you get all this out of it, but he's an 8 that plays occasionally as a 9. Like, a 10 does not have the amount of defensive touches that he had. If you go look at his heat map, see the number of touches in his own half, like he's pure defensive midfielder for a considerable amount of the game. But the beauty of it is because he's permanently not up there, when he gets there, he's perfect for it. And he's a really clever guy. You can just see the way he runs because he's not a big guy. So to get in the positions, you've just got to be on it. Jota does it very. It's more Jota-esque. I said about Bruno last week, but it feels more like him in the way that he has the ability to get into the right place and will score with any part of his body. Like just because he's little doesn't mean he won't score with headers and do the right stuff. It feels more like when Jota plays number 9, but occasionally he won't be there and do those things. But he's a really good asset, McAllister. Yeah. And I don't see any reason in the world that it will ever change. People just still start talking about this. What if he plays deeper? It doesn't matter because he's already playing deeper. He'll still go up and make those runs wherever he has played on the pitch. That's what he now has been told to do, is to do it. And he has to do it because Ferguson, like they're fully playing Liverpool. they're fully playing Liverpool style. Like March is trying to play the Salah role. Matoma is playing Mane job. The striker drops deep. Ferguson is literally in line with Gross in terms of his average position in the on the map. It's ridiculous. It's never up top.
Yeah, his strongest part in the heat map is basically just outside the centre circle.
Yeah, never ever there. And so the person that then does the forward run that gets into it, McAllister is always going to get chances. He's a really, really good asset. Is there a case to have all three?
Well, there's something about I saw something on Twitter earlier about Estupiñán's international commitments, and he's literally playing in Melbourne in Australia 3 days before the Brentford game.
Yeah,
and that doesn't feel. I don't care how good your first class is. It doesn't feel like It doesn't feel like your body recovers well enough. I don't know, maybe. I mean, these are obviously professional athletes. I'm not trying to compare it to me, who would be just completely fucked from the jet lag and whatever. But
yeah,
I just don't feel like you can be 100% coming off a 20-hour flight, first class or not.
I'm thinking about it. I if you are offered me, like,
I'm already getting rid of my Brentford defenders. I can't waste transfers on Brighton defenders. Brentford first.
I don't know. Because if you do it this week, like I don't mind at home to Leicester for Brentford. Like, they're appalling at set pieces. So if you got me or Pinnock, then it's good. And Ricky P or Castagna, wherever they play down the right, bad at defending if you've got Rico. I'm seriously tempted to nail myself into the fact that I'll go Estupiñán to Chilwell this week, freeing up that spot, and then bring him in. But
I'm still not really convinced on Chelsea, so
doesn't mean you can have Bruno and Maddison probably next week. In 29, sorry.
Nothing from Leeds, I guess. No, there's nothing from Leeds really to talk about.
What can you do?
Okay, 2 more to go. 2, 3, 2.
2 to go.
Rog.
What?
Good. These segues are good.
It's incredible.
Segues are incredible, mate.
So you're not convinced on Chelsea?
No.
I get it. I fully get it.
2.5 XG against Leicester.
2.5 XG against Leicester.
Fucking terrible. That is. It's just terrible.
Yeah. Defensively, it's terrible.
So you're literally saying I need an attacking return.
Yeah.
To make it worthwhile. Otherwise, you might as well just get Ben Me.
Yeah. Gets more points. They've got more points. I've seen some people looking at doing the double of James and Chilwell. Looking at this, it probably does look like a lot. It does look like it looks like a lot. The thing with James,
there wasn't a penalty, was there?
No. For Leicester? No. They just missed an absolute. That was the Amati header from Maddison.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So crossed it in, missed it from about 1 yard. He banged that cross across as well. That was good. But yeah, they're still giving away way too many chances. way too many chances, Chelsea. Reece James, I would be a little concerned about the minutes, and part of that is that I think Loftus-Cheek is playing okay. I mean, he's not a right wing back as such, and they're still conceding a lot of XG.
So James is going to be in as soon as he's fit. James is in, and they're conceding 2.5 XG to Leicester. 17 shots, man. You can't consider yourself.
Maybe still he plays right centre back. Maybe he still plays right centre back. It could easily be that they need to play him out there. I'm never been massively convinced of Fofana. The big thing about Ruben Loftus-Cheek is the height in this team. Like, for headers, you've got no one. They're so lightweight.
Yeah,
Cucurella,
yeah.
Cucurella's playing left centre back, and he really praised him up, and he's playing quite well there. Fofana seems to be quite good in the opponent's box, but he's terrible in his own box at defending set pieces. We've seen it for Leicester for years, and seen it with them. He looks tiny when it's coming at him, but he seems to get really big when he gets there. Koulibaly's a good header of a ball, but the midfield's got nothing. And Kai Havertz, again, good in the opponent's box, never gets defensive headers.
Yeah.
Whereas Loftus-Cheek is massive. And so I can see him playing a fair bit in that right wing back position, especially against the teams that will target them from set pieces, which happens to be a lot of the crappier teams. Could also be Everton. Everton spam crosses. We know that McNeil's doing about 15 crosses a game.
Mm-hmm.
It would not surprise me if Loftus-Cheek plays next week. So I would definitely be Chilwell if I was going anyone from them. But as you do say, they do ship XG.
Yeah, I'm not even considering it. I'm not even considering. I would not even recommending it. No, it doesn't get anything from me. I can't be alone.
I just like the player.
I don't mind Chilwell as a player. I think he's fun as a player. He gets into good positions, and yes, we've seen his finishing is excellent for essentially a wing back, fullback. Yeah, yeah.
That's the thing. He's just a good finisher.
Well, both of them are. Chilwell and James both are.
Yeah.
But if I want to spend that amount of money on a defender, I want the clean sheet. At least a chance. I mean, you're not going to get a chance of a clean sheet with 2.5 XG conceded. Yeah. You just don't keep cleans.
Felix or Havertz? Any interest?
No.
We're not the pod for it.
So, let's get Watkins.
So, move on.
And if you haven't got Kane, then you're a madman.
So Brodge does Brodge stuff. So so they've got a good 4-3-3 going. So what he does is he sticks Maddison on the left, takes out Barnes, puts Daka right up top, and then basically puts Iheanacho sort of right in the 10.
Yeah, but sort of the right side of a 10. But yeah, like,
what's he doing?
I don't know, but it doesn't make me want to pick Maddison or Iheanacho, even for the double. I just don't. Saying that, like 2.5 XG. I mean, I know one of that's, as you say, is a Marty, but I mean, they're going to get weaker defensively.
Why doesn't he just play Maddison through the middle, and then Maddison can score some goals? Like Maddison's creating unbelievable chances at the moment. I don't actually want him creating unbelievable chances. I want him getting in the box and scoring.
That was when last season in particular, we were talking about that. The way he changed his game, and he was working on his finishing, and that's the one we want.
I was talking us off about this about the game, but we were saying that he can't help himself. We need to look more at when Leicester are playing is what is the formation that the opposition play, and then that helps tell you what Brodge is going to play, because he's done this so many times now. He changes formation to play the same formation as the opponent he's playing. So he hasn't been playing 3-4-3, and then he decided to play 3-4-3 in this game because Chelsea have changed to a 3-4-3. It's like almost saying, Dick's on the table, mine's bigger than yours. I can beat you here.
They've lost 5 in a row.
It's just stupid things.
His dick is bigger than nobody.
It is. It's like that's what he wants to do, or come on, let's have an arm wrestle. I guarantee you, he goes to a dinner party, he challenges someone for an arm wrestle every single time.
So 4-3-3 next week. 4-3-3 next week. How do we think you like that? How does the midfield look?
They've got next week Brentford, 4-3-3. So 4-3-3. Barnes back,
yeah.
Barnes is probably the best asset next week.
He's going to start Pereira, Amati, Suter, and Castagna, I guess. Because
he'll find a way to get all Brighton back in the team. Sharky's been out for a while. We'll just chuck him in.
Dewsbury Hall, Mendy, and Maddison in midfield. I'm just shoehorning stuff in to make it look good for FPL.
Stuff in. Yeah.
Should we move on to the last game? Can't even remember what it is.
I don't even know what we got left.
Oh, Pope's a lucky boy. Yeah, that's the one.
Oh yeah,
there's just evidence of it. Pope's a lucky boy is the last one, which is the last game of the week.
Have you got Pope, haven't you?
Yeah, on the bench.
God, mate, that could have ruined everything for the old. You just want to keep when you're 28, but it would have been annoying for bench boost that, wouldn't it? Especially if they confirmed that he had like a double in 31. Oh God, that would have been right heartache.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. Isaac, any interest?
Ahead of what
again?
What instead of so going Haaland to Isak? Sorry.
Exactly. If you're going to lose Haaland, you need someone that you want there for a while. And
well, no, you don't. You only need him there for 2 weeks.
Well, you're probably going to lose Tony because you probably will get a ban. You're probably going to
keep. True.
That good thing with Watkins is the game week 30, he's got Forest, and then and then he's a talisman. You can happily just stick away with him. Whereas Tony, there could be a chance that by 30, 31, he ain't there. So I assume most people will go back to Haaland from Tony, not Watkins. If you've got Tony and Isak, and then say Wilson it gets real
it becomes messy.
And he came off again, but that header. I mean, I'm showing my age all day today, but when I was a kid, like if you scored with like the big neck one, you always called it a hullet. That was a hullet, like one, because it was the full neck muscle was put into it, and that was a prime hullet, mate. Like he proper all neck behind it, bang! It was like glorious.
I think I had that image of the header until he got robbed of his bonus at the end there, and I had to change it to Almiron, who came on and took all 3 bonus in 20 minutes.
But yeah, Miggy scored a Miggy goal. Proper Miggy goal. Makes that really intelligent run in between the fullback and centre back. Overlap. They know where he goes. Did his business.
Yeah.
Trippier did a brilliant cross, but
then fell on his arse for the goal.
Fell on his arse.
Like, and taught me because I didn't see the Pope incident. I scrolled for ages to try and find it, and I still couldn't find it. I mean, I can probably watch it now while you mention it.
It's so stupid. It's just stupid. So it's a bad pass. He gets himself into a mess because he's bad with his feet, and he just barges Jimenez over, and it's just obviously a penalty. It's one of those where it's a little awkward, isn't it? Like you're not sure exactly whether Jimenez would have scored or not, whether he would have knocked it past, but the ball would have gone off anyway. It's all a bit confusing, but you're like, I know what you've done there is bad, and actually you put your arm out, you've just done stupid stuff. The referee knows he's done stupid stuff, so he's like, hands up, hold on. I didn't see it. Like he's doing his thing to his ear, like I haven't quite seen it. I'm going to listen. But of course, VAR does what VAR does. It's like, what did you see, ref? I saw a collision, but I couldn't really work out what happened. Yeah, collision happened. Oh, okay. We'll just move on.
Yeah, it's the first thing. What the dick? It's the first thing. It's the first highlight on Sky Sports YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Does that understand how that's not a penalty?
It's just, and I bet you.
I would understand it's not a red card, but well.
I think he has to, and I think it's almost because he hasn't gone for the ball. Give him a red card because he hasn't gone for the ball. He has to give the red card, and therefore it's ridiculous. You know, it's just. But if Pope hadn't been sent off recently, if all of the things, it's early in the game, I don't really give it all of those bits. It then becomes that weird stuff where everyone knows what it should be, but it doesn't actually happen.
Yeah.
But for Wolves, that's tough. Because they just go straight at the other end of the score.
Yeah.
Would have been fun.
Are we doing anything with these guys? 28, 29, I suppose. I mean, I've got like triple Newcastle defence, which I don't hate.
Perfect.
I don't hate at all. I'm pretty happy with it.
You got to roll with it. You know, that's...
I mean, you can't legislate for stupid shit, right? That's the thing we need to remember is you can't plan for stupid shit like Pope pushing over a player when they should have probably conceded a penalty and been sent off. You can't legislate for Trippier falling on his arse and Pope not knowing what the hell's going on, so he actually goes out to dive and they just don't talk and then it just gets tapped in. You can't plan for that shit. You just have to assume that the rest of the game they don't do the stupid shit, and they get another game where they have under half an XG at home, and it's all good. Right.
Who is the better pick for this week and for the onwards? Triple up on Newcastle and bring in Share, or get Chilwell or James?
I'm not going Chelsea, mate. You can't. I don't.
You've got triple up, but if you were me, would you go? But remember, I asked you, should I go Botman or Doherty? And I said I want to go Doherty, and you said Botman's probably the better pick, and then you went, "Well, have some fun if that's what you want."
Mate, have some fun if that's. I'll say it again. Have some fun if that's what you want. Go Chilwell, but Botman will outscore him over the next 3 weeks.
I've got Botman. It's just where I've got Share as well.
Sorry.
Like Share or
because you don't have Pope. Sorry, yeah, of course. Well, I'd probably go Chilwell then. I probably wouldn't have 3 defenders. I'm happy with the keeper.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have 3 defenders. Because you're thinking bench boost in 29, right? I suppose at that point it's no different, I guess. It's still 3 defenders.
Still 3 defenders. I could end up with 3 defenders from Newcastle and 3 midfielders from Brighton, and then they get a double and play each other again. Perfect.
So stupid, isn't it? So stupid. And then Brighton are obviously, as well as playing each other, the Brighton have to play City and Chelsea and Tottenham in those 3 games after the double. Like 3 of them.
Good. I want 3 of my midfield slots taken up by that.
Yes, exactly. Questions. Let's move on. Questions. If you have questions, please let us know. I think we've covered stuff from the Discord already, which is basically Haaland replacements. So Richard asks, Kai, Solanke, Watkins, in which order would you have that? So I'd have that Watkins, Kai, Solanke, personally.
Yes.
Cool. Is it time to set and forget Arsenal assets, says Steve. I mean,
they're making it hard to get them out.
Yeah, it's difficult to... See, as much as a stickler I am for trying to get to 15 doublers, I'm quite happy just having Saka. Well, am I happy having Saka? I'm definitely happy having Gabriel against Leeds, but yeah, I don't know. So I don't feel like I want to take out Saka. I feel like that will make my side worse.
Yeah.
So, it's a difficult one for me. But I think you can. I mean, look, they're the top team in the league. I mean, or why would you not just set and forget? Like, it's not.
Yeah.
To be honest. Kev
says,
go on, you go for it.
Get into the 10 game week to go, Mark. Time's not like differentials, be they picks or cap choices. We've covered those. Son.
I'd say from game week 30. Well, yeah, I mean, differentials from a free hit perspective, if you're on a chip, something like that. Then yeah. I mean, I'd have some fun that week because, everyone else is going to be, you're going to have 11. If you're on a free hit, you're going to have 11, so you can punt. Whereas most people will be looking at 9 or 10. So you're already going to be up anyway. So you can have some fun with it. Are we stupid to transfer Haaland out? I don't think so. I think as long as you bank the money that you can bring him back in, I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, you're banking on free. If you've got a player that's playing 3 games versus 1, you like to hope that you could make a profit in that world. But
yeah,
he could have got 20 points this week.
So 5 minutes of questions. Let's do some. So how you guys feel when Spurs sell Kane in the summer? I mean, if we do, then okay. And that's, we'll be gutted, but the club's done what the club's done, which is crap. But
still love him.
Yeah, love him to pieces. Yeah, great player. What about Brendan Johnson?
Neither the Johnsons. No Johnsons on this stream.
No, I don't think we need to go Brennan Johnson there. Is Isak a good Haaland replacement? I mean, literally, we've just mentioned that whilst talking about the Newcastle game.
Jan's asked about the March or Stupinham for McAllister.
March.
But I think if you're going to do the March, do something fun this week with the March position. And
I like that
and enjoy it.
So
and then
get
and
a
then
Son, get a Bruno. No, not Bruno. That's stupid.
The obvious one is Madison, isn't it? Just get Madison.
Son. Yeah, any kind of fun midfielder.
Get Madison. He's in place, and then do, say, for example, Odegaard to McAllister next week. Yeah, so get Madison in for March if that's the player you want out, and then do that. But hey, wait till after Wednesday night, and ask yourself the question: if that goal stood and it went with March, would you be having the conversation? Because he would have been top bonus. That is the one thing. He would have been top bonus. So he would have had, he'd have had 10 points and would have been the top scorer of
out of the three.
All of Brighton out of the three.
Yeah.
Comfortably.
There's not too many other questions in there. So there is a question about if you're going to try and not free hit in 32, which players did you get instead of United in 29? I think we can cover that closer to the 29.
Yeah.
But Mikel, I think we can bank that question, Mikel, as a good one. And we can try and think about that and work towards something like that as an option, for sure. Yeah.
We done?
Yeah, mate, we're an hour and 25 minutes, so we've been quite lengthy, but that's normally how long match of the day is. So we've clocked it about right.
Yeah, exactly.
So last question, is Rashford a hold with the blank?
Yes.
100%
yes.
Good. Guys, there's been 250 of you in with us this evening. Thank you very much for engaging with us, interacting. It's been great. Let us know in the comments if you're watching this after the fact how you got on this game week. Are you having a good game week? Did you wild card? Did you play a bench boost? How's it going? Etc. etc. And any questions for game week 28 that we may not have covered here, we can try and cover in the comments. We do read all the comments. We try to answer all of them. Before we go, and before you guys all leave us, please drop a like on the stream. That would be really much appreciated. And if you want to see more of us, please do hit that subscribe button. So we're doing bits of more content. There's more appetite for content prior to deadlines. We're trying to do a bit more. Again, if you want to join in the conversation more regularly, day to day, join the Discord, patreon.com/aboveaveragefpl. Have I missed anything? Are we all good? Can we leave? Are we done? If you're listening on the podcast, leave a review, all that stuff. Fantastic. And six players to go.
That's it.
6 players to go.
Done.
Done. Catch you later, mate.
See ya.